Welcome to Warjack's Games Club podcast, episode number 55. We're Brandon and Shaun, and we're hanging out on a Friday.
What up, dog?
Do you know much? 2 podcasts? What's going on?
I know, right? Wow. I'm not gonna lie, I'm super hyped for this podcast right now.
Yeah, right? I don't know. We took so long to do them, and now it's like, man, we should just podcast.
Right? I think it was like
every other day.
It was literally like, I think the same day we podcast last time. I was like, so do you want to podcast again?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I miss
that's funny.
Just getting on and BSing and talking about hobbies and stuff we like to do.
That's right.
It's a good time.
So, nothing crazy happened in between. Well, that's not entirely true. If you want to think about the Warmachine world, the app update happened overnight, and they're losing their mind over Unlimited. But
yeah,
that's about it.
We can talk about that. I feel like we both probably have opinions on that. We might be aligned on that, even.
Yeah, I think we are.
We probably are.
But
rocking my my CaptainCon shirt.
Oh, mine. You know what? They're surprisingly pretty big because I got 3X and I wear usually like 4X, and I feel like I could almost pull the 3X off.
I think it's just nice. It's super comfy.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty sweet. The
back is I think is it mostly kind of black and white, but it's very piratey themed. Very dope.
Like a boat.
Dude, I actually really regret that I never went back and got dice like an idiot.
You didn't get the CaptainCon dice?
Nope.
That's rough. You probably still get them, to be honest. I'm sure you could reach out to somebody and just be like, hey, like I didn't get dice while I was there.
Did they have more loot?
I will also say I have mine, and I don't know that I really care about mine, so you can honestly probably just have mine.
Whoa, no,
I like
that's messed up.
I like patches, not dice.
Did you get the patch? Did they have a patch?
They did have a patch. I got the patch.
I didn't get a patch either. I was so...
Dang.
Man, I failed.
Yeah, you dropped the ball. How'd that happen?
You know, it's because I let you guys talk me out of the big package. I bet I came with all of that, and
probably did.
I just got the shirt package, which even that you were like, dude, I bet you the shirt is just the price difference, and you're right, it was.
Yeah, you saved nothing by buying the bundle. So my thing is, I just didn't know if I'd like the shirt, and like it's only $20, but I don't want to waste the money for no reason on a shirt that I would never wear. Like again, I care about the patch. I'd buy the patch whether I thought it looked like trash or not. But the shirt, if it's not a dice shirt or something I'm gonna wear, then like I don't want to spend the money on it. To your point, if the bundle was worth it, I'd probably just buy the bundle and always just get the shirt. But like there was no savings. It was plus $20 bundle, and like the shirt was $20, so it was nice, and I bought it while we were there.
Yeah, the bundle part was not entirely clear. It was the big it had like all these captain log things, and I asked some people about it, and they kind of gave me some information on it, but it was still like.
Yeah.
I didn't even go to the captain's log table. I never accrued any points for doing anything, so I have no idea.
I bought some 40K from that store, and I know it was like that big like bingo board. Like remember, like you had the different store, and you had like buy stuff or do stuff on like the same like line or something. I'm not sure. It was our first year at CaptainCon, so we were definitely not on top of the captain's log and the points and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what all that was. I didn't do anything with mine. I don't know if I could have. I don't know.
Well, you didn't. You had to fill out a whole line, right?
Yeah, you had to do like several like different things.
4 shops, I think.
Something like that. I think I have that book somewhere. I could probably look, but
that 40K store was kind of sick though, right? Like, so I think all of his GW stuff was 15% off, but then like he had tubs of just random used 40K stuff that was actually
sick.
Not just garbage stuff. Like you could have played Necrons if you wanted to, right? Like,
yeah, there was like full stuff. I got a Doom Scythe from him, so like that was sweet. That was used there. He had 2 of them technically. A bunch of he had some really cool, like even nicely painted Death Guard stuff that I guess someone had like claimed pretty early that was still there that I got to see, but I guess it was already like claimed at that point. You couldn't buy it. He had all kinds of really cool stuff that was pretty reasonably priced. Like it was kind of almost like flea market style. He was like, "Make me an offer," like, and it was nice, cool dude, cool store.
They also had if you were Warmachine player. They had a bunch of and they're mostly metal boxes, but it was all boxes of like random units and stuff, and they were $10 a box. Like one of them was a 3-pack of Ferox for Scorn. That $10 for that. I had it in my hand, but I was like, dude, I have 10 Ferox. Like, I'm bad about like wanting to drop a deal, right? Like I don't know
Buying it
how
for
I
no
did it
reason.
though. I put it down. I somehow controlled myself.
You did. I feel like we
but-
both controlled ourselves though, because like I had all that Necron stuff at one point too that I really didn't need, and I even told you I was like, I don't think I'd ever play this unit, but look how cheap
but I
it
don't
is.
have them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of like we dug through multiple boxes and pulled out like 3 units of Necrons, and we're like, all right, just throw them back in. We don't,
Yeah.
we don't want them.
I stayed strong. Did you end up getting the flyer, boys? Your space
Nah, they
marine
only
flyer?
had
Oh, they only
2.
had 2 of the 3. That's right.
I don't even know what. I got a unit of infiltrators. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think that's accurate. I believe that's
This 3-man like sniper looking unit. And then 5-man of like, it wasn't eradicators, but it looks like eradicate. Like it's another heavy weapon unit.
I don't know what you got there.
It might be trash, but it was like so cheap. Didn't really matter. But
Bro, can we talk about the highlight of the trip before we forget again?
what's the highlight? Which part?
Bro, obviously Southwest the highlight of the trip.
Oh, okay. So Shaun, you always fly where? What do you fly with usually?
I fly with whoever's the cheapest. American, I've flown Southwest before. I just fly with whoever.
So if you are a larger person like I am, Southwest has an insane customer of size policy, is what they call it. And when you go to sign up, or when you go to buy a ticket online, you essentially buy 2 tickets and you just put XS in the. It's kind of funny you say XS like like I'm in it. Yeah, no XS like I'm in excess of my seat. But I think it stands for extra seat. You put that in your middle initials, and you literally after the flight just call them back and say, "Hey, want to refund my extra seat?" And they do it. And that's not even the best part. So, what was your favorite part?
My favorite part is that by doing that and being with you, we got to pre-board early.
Mm-hmm.
So we always got to go on first. On Southwest, like, you don't pick seats. Like, you first come, first serve. So we always sat up front. Never had to worry about them taking our bags because overhead storage is full, all that. First one's off the flight because we're sitting up front. There was obviously only 2 of us in the 3-row seat that was there. Like, I thought I was flying first class all weekend. I'm like, this shit's sick.
Yep, that's how that's me and my wife. We go to Vegas or something. That's how we always fly. I'll be honest with you. I haven't even called to refund my ticket yet. I'm being lazy about it. But it was so cheap.
They were cheap. They were.
I want to say it was
cheap.
$150 round trip. Maybe.
I don't even think it was that because I ended up using those credits from stuff we canceled last year.
Yeah, we were gonna go to Nova and which the Warfare weekend trip was stupid cheap too. It was like $60-something one way.
Yeah, we got it during the like Southwest fly for $69 or some jazz like that.
And then stuff happened. I regret we should have gone to Nova. You and me should have just gone to Nova. That was my bad. But then Warfare weekend, I think it was just like everyone was down on Mark IV. To be honest,
Yeah,
we had played 0 games.
I don't regret Warfare weekend, but I do regret Nova last year.
Yeah. Should have won a Nova. Should have had like a big last hurrah. Well, we did in Crucible, but it doesn't really count.
I didn't even play.
Yeah.
I ran it.
Yeah, Crucible this year doesn't even have a Warmachine event yet.
Yet. We'll fix that.
Yeah, I think I talked myself into it. Yeah.
We'll
but
see.
here or there. Anyway, Southwest. Almost every flight has a friggin' connection, but it's not that bad.
Depends on where you're flying. It's just because we're leaving out of Jacksonville, and it's not the best. Like, if you're leaving out of somewhere else, it's not bad.
Yeah. But shout out, your dad drove us and picked us up, so didn't even have to pay for parking.
Yeah.
Also, let me tell you, I know now where Shaun gets the lead foot from. He was killing, which I was like, so it's weird because we're like, what time we want to get there, and I'm like trying to play it cool, like, yeah, that's fine, but I'm like, man, I hope nothing bad happens. We should probably go earlier, but dude, he did not.
What?
We got there so fast.
You should have just said that. If you want to get there earlier, we could have given ourselves more
But
time. I've flown
we
out of
did.
Jacksonville, and there's literally no one in the
Yeah.
airport. So, like, you walk up, you go through security, and then you sit at your gate for an hour and a half. Like,
It's not, and that's like even in the middle of like prime time. It's like that.
right.
And we were going at what, like 6 a.m. or something stupid.
Pretty early.
Um, well, we did go earlier. I think I said something. We left a little
Yeah, we
earlier.
left. We gave ourselves plenty of time, which is good. Like, we talked about it. You don't want to be running around the airport. You want to be those people.
And then
Late
we're
to a
sitting
flight.
there. We're sitting there. Shout out to. It's a little expensive, but shout out to Firehouse has like breakfast sandwiches in the airport.
It was good.
They're
Oh,
kind of
no.
We were sitting at Firehouse, and Sean's like, dude,
I know where you're going.
he was gonna bring his Necrons because I was like, dude, if you bring your Necrons, I'll play 40k against you, like when we're just chilling. And you packed your box of all your bits that have all your knight's guns, attachments, weapons in the box, and
It was all in my bag with my Necrons. Because I
Yep.
bagged the Necrons. I was going to throw them in the overhead. Or as a carry-on. And then I had my Knights and, like, luggage. And, like, literally a suitcase luggage wrapped up in, like, blankets and, like, bubble wrap. And everything I could try to do to keep the Knights safe on the trip. And then, like, I was just running out of space. And I was like, I don't know if this works. And what if this bag doesn't fit as, like, a carry-on? And I'm trying to check something. I got to decide between my Knights and my Necrons breaking. And I'm going to cry. So I was like, it's just too much. I was like, sorry, Bros, I can't do it. Like, the Necrons are staying. I'm only taking the Knights. I thought I had gotten everything out of my Necron bag. And I got my dice bag. I got multiple things. I had just about everything out of my bag. And we're sitting there at the airport. And I was like, dog, I don't have my attachments. I was like, I can't play. And I didn't know at the time even if I was going to play. Remember, I was like, maybe I just won't even play. Because like, I'm fairly new to 40k. I was like, I don't know that I feel comfortable playing in the tournament. Maybe I just won't even play. Like, I just want to get pickup games and play games, have fun. So then we were thinking about it. I was like, I could call my dad. He could run to my house. He could probably overnight the bits to DC. Like, I could get them. So we literally waffled back and forth on that for what, like 45 minutes maybe? Like, the whole time we ate. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to play. Let's do it. Let's ship them. No, I'm not playing. And finally he's like, well, pull it up because I hadn't bought my badge yet. So I pull up the badge thing to buy it and see what's there. Because last time I checked, the 40k tournament was full. It sold out pretty quickly because it was capped at 64, which is nothing for a Warhammer event. And I'm sitting there and, like, Bros pulls it up and he was like, bro, he's like, I think you have to play. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, there's one of 64 badges left. I was like, what? So yeah, that just seemed destiny. So I quickly bought my box, or bought my pass, my badge, my 40k ticket to play in the event. And they called my dad. I was like, hey, I need a favor. So he goes there, snags them. Sure enough, they're in my Necron bag. And then we went back and forth about how to ship them, like UPS, USPS. I was like, I need someone to box them. I need them here tomorrow because, like, I need them for the event. So, like, they can't just show up randomly at 6. Like, I need them first thing in the morning. Long story short, I made like a $150 mistake because it was like $148 to overnight my bits to the hotel in Rhode Island.
If you want to sponsor us, ShipStation, just throwing it out there. If you ever ship something, check ShipStation. Was it ShipStation.PayPal or PayPal.ShipStation.com? If you want to go through your PayPal, like if you ever sell anything through PayPal, I don't know why. Like, how much you shipped? How many trolls? It was like that box was 100 pounds, 2,000 pounds.
Yeah, it was a lot, and it was like $38. Something like that. Like, I've shipped stuff for like hundreds before at the post office trying to ship a box of miniatures of like a full army. Even that, we checked ShipStation with my bits, and it was like $64 or something like that to overnight it through UPS. And like at the store, my dad paid like $148.
And I think I even oversized your box too.
Shout out though, like they did get it there at like 8:05 a.m. the next morning. So yeah. Shout out to UPS, like they came through, got my bits, played in the tournament. So all in all, it was okay, but it was a hefty $150 mistake. What's funny is, like, I think at one point you were like, So if someone came up and like had a thing of bits for $150, would you buy them? And I was like, no, and tell them they're smoking crack. And I'm like, but I'm gonna pay $150 to ship my bits here.
I was like, I don't know, they're all magnetized and stuff. I'd consider it
Yeah,
low key.
if it was literally like mine, it had everything magnetized like I did, I would pay $150 for the
Yeah,
bits. But
and
it was rough.
so that was super rough. So there's a I don't know if you put the picture and the like montage at the beginning of us sitting in the airport together, but that was you on the phone with UPS.
Oh yes, I don't know if I put it in there or not. I'll look back. If not, I'll put it up on this one. But yeah, so there's
But
Brandon's snapping a picture like I'm on my phone trying to get UPS to overnight my stuff, signing up for the badges like in the airport and the connection plate.
and meanwhile okay, and then so he wraps these knights up in like all these blankets inside of this little carry-on luggage, and we get there, and I have like 3 or 4 Storm Legion models broken, and like what, one thing fell off of one of your knights.
Yeah, one of the little chains on the top broke off, and mine was just wrapped up in blankets inside of a rolling luggage bag.
The Storm Legion, dude. Yeah, so it might sound like we were exaggerating, but I kid you not, probably twice around something broke.
That's probably about accurate. I was sitting there with the glue.
Yeah, Athena broke sitting there by herself because when we went back, I was like, "Dude, where's your spear?" And you went and found it on the floor. I think someone probably knocked her over
or something, maybe. Yeah, it was brutal.
I accidentally dropped one of the standard bearers on the ground, which those things are pretty fragile. So it broke like really weird. Like the whole like arm, like in his body broke off. It has like this wide of like flat plastic, which is easy to glue back. But I'm like, jeez,
Right.
I didn't bring any glue. We got it at Target.
Yep.
Target trip was dope.
Church was good. A lot of stuff. Got some water they threw outside and froze in the -1 degree weather.
We went to Target and got all this like food and cheese and whatever we got, and we get back and our air or not air conditioner, our
That's right.
the
fridge wasn't
whole
working.
fridge was just not working, and the guys come in, they're like, "Hey, we played with it a bunch and like it sounds like it came on, so it's just you can feel it's cold back there." And like how many hours later?
Yeah, it wasn't working.
Yeah, hours later we come back and they actually upgraded our room. We got a balcony. So some of those pictures, or at least one of the pictures we had last time, we were sitting on the balcony, which is pretty cool, and the room was bigger.
Yeah, it was a sweet little upgrade, and the fridge worked, which we tossed our stuff in the fridge and they would keep it cool. So
Outside fridge definitely worked.
the outside fridge worked for sure. All in all, it's a great time.
God, if you have not been in that cold though, that is different.
Definitely hits.
Because Florida feels stupid cold when it gets down in the 20s.
Yeah, it's all the humidity in the air.
But that was like, you go outside, you're freezing, and you come in and your pants are still cold. And so you're like, oh my God, I'm still cold.
Yeah, that was rough.
But,
Rough indeed. But CaptainCon was fantastic. Also, shout out. We forgot last time. I'm not sure how. I feel like. So, first of all, let's do the shout out. Also, Tried and True. We got to meet them as well. We got our coins. Fantastic. I don't know how we forgot to shout them out last time. I feel like it's because. I feel like we've like known them longer. I feel like I've like met them or known them. Maybe it's because we podcasted together and stuff. Like that's not what I was thinking of. I was trying to think of like, oh, we just met this person. Oh, we just met that person. And literally once we got off, we're like, oh, like we didn't even talk about Tried and True. We definitely met them for the first time too. Like it didn't seem like that was the first time we had met them, but it was.
They were in some of the pictures you saw and the videos.
Yep. So that was.
They're very cool. I think I used theirs as my flag. There.
Oh yeah, the coin.
See, I was telling you, those are really cool. They're like medium based.
They were sweet.
I think mine's up there.
Mine's in my bag.
I forgot to go look and get it. I said I was going to, but
Yep. Shout out to Tried and True.
Who do you mean, Andy and Paul?
Paul, I think. They named Paul. Yep. So I didn't even know they were there. I think Eric was on a Discord. It was like, oh, they're there somewhere. We're like, where? Like, we're hanging out like the Warmachine tables. And then Andy swung by. We're like, what up?
And did they not play in any of the events, or did they play a team event?
I don't think they played in any of them because I think they head out the next day. They were playing the pickup games that Saturday night, but then they bounced on Sunday.
There's actually a decent amount of just random pickup Warmachine getting played
Yeah, outside the
throughout.
main room too. Even
Hmm.
was like all
Yeah,
Warmachine out there.
I took a picture. I should have sent it to you. If I remember, and you want to throw it up, but it's tough to remember. But they had like PVC, like they had PVC pipe tables. So they didn't have to set up a ton of tables out there. They just had long rows of PVC pipe set up, and they were putting probably how your setup is for your table at home on top
Yeah,
of it. And they had that's where the AOS tournament was out there. Um, which every map looks the same. It's just got 5 circles. I don't really know
right.
much what's going on in that game,
I don't
but
know what's going on with this.
but that's funny.
Yeah. So Crucible,
Crucible.
Crucible this year switched events. Is that what the DoubleTree Hilton
Love,
at Universal?
yeah, I told you already. Love the double tree.
Yep.
The fresh cookies they have in the drawer. Let me tell you, they're
That's
good.
too funny. But what were
You
you
like
saying? Do you remember the size that you were? 'Cause we
so
were looking up earlier, and like the convention was like triple, quadruple, like what it typically
yeah.
is.
So they're squadding up with QuestCon,
Yep.
Crucible and QuestCon, September 29th, October 1st. And they said prior to 2022, so I'm guessing 2022 was smaller. Prior to that, the largest area they ever had was 9,000 square feet. This gaming area is going to be 20,000 square feet.
Yeah, that's a double. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's sweet though.
And then that doesn't include all the rooms for like RPG stuff and things like that. They're gonna have like board game rental stuff. They had that at CaptainCon. It was stupid popular. Like every time
Yeah,
you
the room
walk by
was
that
packed.
room, it was packed. Also, there were
Yeah,
people playing. I'm pretty sure they were playing Fishbowl. Have you ever played Fishbowl?
I've not played fishbowl.
Did I describe it to you?
You did when we were. Was that when they were walking by that one time? And you were talking about like someone had to get it and then like act it out, and then it goes
Hmm.
around and you put it back in. You do it again or something.
Yeah, you play 3 rounds. Everyone puts in a couple phrases or words. First round, you have to go through every word. The whole group does. And first round, you can literally say, do anything besides what's on the piece of paper. Second round is charades. You throw all the piece of papers back in, and you have to act it out without talking. Third round, you just get to say one word.
Dang,
But it's actually very fun.
seems for sure.
And if you're drinking, it's a lot of fun. And
Everything's a
they,
little more fun.
they were they were definitely drinking. Actually, people were drinking beer all day at CaptainCon.
Yeah, CaptainCon was it was lit.
The dude running by with the Bud Light
Hat on.
box hat on, that guy was
Yeah,
pretty dope.
yeah,
Turns out he was a War Machine
yeah. Wasn't he the brother of the
with
guy that won
Emery.
it? Yeah,
Yeah,
Embry. Yeah. Yep.
that was fun.
That was a good time.
Yeah, and we almost died when we got there. So
Did we not talk about the Uber driver?
we
last time?
got,
Right, if you
you
ever
know,
go to Rhode Island, don't take Ubers. Those were the worst Uber drivers I have ever seen in my life. Like, we got one when we first got off the airplane. We were trying to get to the hotel. It's freezing out, remind you. And, like, we don't want to miss it. So we're standing outside like idiots in our shorts and our light sweatshirts. Freezing. And this guy took forever. And then finally calls because he's lost and can't find us. We're at the airport. Like, you've never picked someone up at the airport before as an Uber driver? So, like, finally we see him. We flag him down. He gets over to us. And then we're driving. And we come up to, like, an exit for the interstate. And he's like, is this the way I go? And me and Brandon are like, bro, we don't live here. Like, I have no idea. Like, we gave you an address. That's where we need to get to. So he takes it and he's driving. We're driving for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And he realizes we're going the wrong way. So we have to turn around. And, like, it was, like, maybe a 10-minute Uber drive that took, like, 30, 35 minutes. And he was wild. He was all
accurate.
over the place. He was texting. Like, his thing would come through and he'd start scrolling and trying to read it, and then he'd reach over and put on his glasses and he would lean in.
Yep.
It was like reading and responding on his text, and me and Brandon are like, we're gonna die. It was rough. He was the jerkiest, like all over the place. I
Oh
was scared.
yeah, it was awful.
And he wasn't
Pulled
the only
out.
one. The Uber driver that picked us up from Target was like, "Which way do I go to get out of here?" We're like,
Okay,
"I
he
don't know."
was, but he had that sweet minivan, and he
He
opened and
did.
closed the doors for us. So,
Yeah, he had a sign that says "Don't open the door." I've got it.
and then I accidentally hit his car with my bag, but like he didn't
Yeah.
notice.
But yeah, they were the worst Uber drivers ever. Do not ever Uber if you go to Rhode Island.
Yeah, the person to Target was all right,
Yes, they were good.
and the airport person was all right, except they like canceled our Uber. Like we were sitting in the lobby waiting because it's freezing outside, and he like says, "Never mind, peace out," and then you have to redo it. And I think he just turned around.
Yeah,
Was it the same
it was
guy?
the same person. Yep. So we went and stood outside and waited for him that time, but like it was freezing, so like we were trying to wait inside. Typically,
Hmm.
they like let you know when they're there, or call you, text you, something. Nothing.
The drizzly driver like didn't get out of his car. Had to go in and get his.
Too
Were
funny.
the Taco Bell drivers at least dope?
Yeah, the food was just sitting up at the counter. Like I just
Yeah,
grabbed it
yeah,
off the counter and walked away. I was like, lit.
yeah.
Shout out to the 1 a.m. Taco Bell.
Dude, okay, so there's a new. If anyone here loves Taco Bell as much as I do, we found out there's new combos at Taco Bell. They're like $6. You get a drink, and then there's like a cheesy Gordita crunch combo and a Crunch Wrap Supreme combo, and then it comes with a Doritos Locos taco, which is like not as good as this other thing in the Taco Bell app for value, but like, and it was that much in the Grubhub app. It was $6 for a drink, a special item, and uh Doritos Locos
Yeah,
taco. Like that
that's
is,
wild from Grubhub because Grubhub is usually expensive.
yeah, that's bananas.
That is bananas.
We both, or you got? Do we get two of them?
Yeah, we each
You
got one.
wanted two
I
drinks,
wanted
right?
2 drinks, so I stole your drink because you had drinks there.
Yeah, because it was.
Yeah,
I didn't need no Pepsi. So you just got two Bajas.
yeah. Baja Mountain Dew is fire.
Lit.
Lit
Uh,
indeed.
so
All
that
right,
was
what
all
else?
the
Some
extra Captain Con.
do it.
I was saying that was all the extra Captain Con
Oh,
stuff we
yeah.
missed last
Let's
time.
get to some. Let's get to some like War Machine and maybe
Ooh,
40K content.
maybe 40K. Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah. Quick. Just so what's your opinion on? Did you look at Unlimited?
Oh, so very briefly, most of it came from like the talk that we were doing when we were talking about the Merc stuff and like Legion, all that
Mm-mm.
kind of stuff. But yes,
It's a mess.
I definitely agree with the internet, which is going ham for the most part. That like I thought it was just gonna be like bringing other stuff back, but like how Prime was. This thing is just like straight free for all, play what you want, and that's wild. I'm not here for that whatsoever.
I think I knew though. Like I knew it was like, okay, you're gonna eventually get, and this is only what's in Prime so far for some of the armies. So like
Right.
Legion has just two Prime armies now. Eventually, every Legion model is going to be on that list, plus every mercenary that would work for them, and that list is
Huge.
already egregious. Like
Yeah.
and I'm here if people want to play it. I'm totally not knocking you jam that format, but I would be like, I'm gonna play Storm Legion because that's too much to go through for me.
He said you jam that format. That's funny.
Yeah, so 100%. I hope that it is what people want. I know a lot of people. Some people are, I think, upset that like Signar and Storm Legion don't actually mix. But I think Privateer was pretty clear on that up front. But maybe it just
Right.
kind of got misunderstood.
Yeah, I don't. We'll see what ends up happening or what they change, but that's kind of my
It,
short and sweet comment on that. It's just that it's wild. Yeah.
in hindsight, I do wonder though why they didn't consider allowing those to mix, just because they already said like it's the Wild West of formats. Like they're not trying
Balancing
to
anything.
balance it,
Right.
but like that only would make people want to buy your stuff more, right? Like if they're like, ooh, I can add the new casters or new jacks to my legacy stuff. I'd be interested to
Maybe.
see if they change their mind about that.
Maybe not though. I feel like if that's the case, you're probably just playing all the new stuff. Like I feel like the Wild West Legacy old stuff is like for like stuff people already have. all the
Hmm.
models you already have, all the armies you already have, that kind of stuff. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know that you would. I mean, I guess you could mix and match. I'm sure there's stuff that's out there, but I don't
Also,
know.
people probably Kador and Signar just got armies, and like technically the pirate trolls are trolls, but at what point are they gonna put those underneath troll bloods? And then
Right? Yeah.
if some people rumor that the zoo army is like also kind of protectorate potentially, is that going under protectorate? I don't
Yeah, I
think
don't
they're
think
gonna
the new
keep doing
stuff.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
don't think the new stuff is matching backwards, which
so
is fine. I don't know.
Unlimited's
It's a
wild.
yeah, it's a wild format. I just want to play. I just want to play the new Mark IV.
I like Prime, yeah,
Yeah,
but
standard as I call it.
I'd play against somebody if they wanted to do it, but I'm gonna bring a Prime army probably.
Right. I concur. We
But
have lists to look at. There is a newer comment on an older bat rep from a while back that got sent out that we were going back and forth, did a little talking with. I believe they were fairly new to the game. Mark IV stuff wasn't really up and running a whole lot there, so they were still doing some Mark III stuff. But I believe he was playing Legion into his buddy's Grimkin, and no, he was playing Grimkin into his buddy's Legion and was not having a very good time. And
yeah,
was going through some of this stuff, so I asked to send me the list and we would take a look at them. I know we have the Grimkin list entirely because he was playing it. They're playing at 50 points, I believe. So I know we have that, and then he roughly gave us some of the Legion stuff that was being played. Like, he didn't know the entire list. But if you want to run through the Grimkin list,
ooh, shoot. So I goofed. It's not in front of me. Hold on
I
one
can run
second.
you
But
through the Grimkin list.
I do know. Do you know the? Did he mention the? I have it. Did he mention the theme? Probably not.
Nope. So I didn't get any themes that were in there. So I didn't even
Okay.
do Rex. I just kind of like put the list in there. It's 3 points over. I'm assuming one of those is
Yeah.
a Rec.
So yeah, if he has Kravitz, they would be. I don't see Kravitz. Either way, so playing the Dreamer and has battle groups Cage Rager, Frightmare, and a Rattler, and then the units are the piggybacks plus the UA, Madcaps, Hollow Men, and the Lantern Man, and then a Min Nayslayers with a Defiled Archon.
Yeah.
Now, I have not played into Dreamer or a lot of those units, but I do know of most of them.
I'm
So
a
that's good.
big fan of the piggybacks. I thought they were really good. I thought they had potential to be really good.
It,
In Mark 3, I should say.
it made me wonder if it was the Beast theme because I thought piggybacks were legal in that theme, and he's not wrecking Kravitz, which is like the go-to wreck. So
Right.
makes me think it's that theme.
Also, might just not have them. I know they were.
But
They
he's
had like
got
just
two
gotten.
Kravitz.
They had just
he
gotten
has.
into the game. Oh, that's right. He gives the list of like extra stuff that he
Yeah.
had. They had just gotten in, so like the inventory is fairly light on what they had available.
Hmm.
I guess it's fairly hard to get stuff over there right now currently. So they were struggling from that standpoint. But I think his biggest issue was mostly the Raptors. Like from his comments, was just those Raptors were.
What's the Legion models? We didn't.
Oh yeah.
mention
So
that.
for Legion, his buddy was playing Thagrosh. I'm assuming Thagrosh 2. With Typhon, he said one Ravagore for sure. There was potentially a second Ravagore. Nephilim Soldier, Raptors, and Warmongers. I don't know if they're mins, maxes, and he didn't know what the solos were. But I think his biggest thing was just Raptor. Like, he basically was just getting like murdered off the board. Like, Raptors were too fast, hit too hard, like repoed. They both have cavalry models, and his Nayslayers were not on the same level as Raptors.
Mhm.
I feel like,
I think he armor too. He said was a big problem. I think.
yeah,
They're trying
basically
to
he was
get-
just saying that they weren't built equal. Like, if you looked at them point for point, what you were getting, he was saying that Raptors were just like not comparable to his Nayslayers. Basically,
Yeah, they're not. Now you go to Mark IV though, different world.
right,
Nayslayers for some reason that full unit is in Mark IV.
right.
It's not the half unit.
Yeah.
So like Nayslayers are some of the wildest, I think, in Grimkin, um, or in Mark IV, like just the unit.
So he was basically
But
saying, like, basically just played his first games, 4 in total. Is there any way to beat them? Playing Grimkin here, the army's both super tanky, does insane damage. Basically, in spray damage from his Typhon. Does get to do that 4 times, right? Was it 5 times? I think it's
five
4 heads,
times,
5 heads.
three. Well, hold on. It's 3 heads, but can he buy sprays? They each have reload. Is that right?
So it's 5 Fury. I know he's 5 Fury in Mark 3. He has multiple heads, he has 3s, but I don't think he gets to. I don't think he gets to buy more.
Okay, then he just has 3.
Correct. Yeah, he has 3 sprays.
Uh, no, it can be forced to buy additional range. So it can eight sprays.
He has 8. No. Does he
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, because he has 5 Fury, and he can be forced to buy additional range. Oh, it says cannot. Okay, good. I was like, dude, that's
Yeah,
insane.
there's no
Yeah,
way. I was going to say there's no way.
so
I would have been
three,
playing Typhon. But,
three
uh,
sprays, but they're good sprays.
yeah, basically the insane sprays. He was saying he basically just spams just shoots up in his face and he's done. That he outranges them, outpaces them, does everything. He has an entire like damage breakout, which is kind of impressive. Like I've never like done damage breakout like this, or like min maxing like with the actual damage output and stuff with, which is kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I think the biggest my thing here, I think his biggest problem in this standpoint is just like Raptors. In my opinion, I like them a lot in Mark 3. I never really played them because when they're good, I think they're insanely good. Like
Mm-hmm.
Speed 9, Rat 7, Repo 5, having poison on the guns at range 12. Like, when that is good and against living, it's just absolutely ridiculously good. Also, Weapon Masters on the melee as well at speed 9 cavalry when you get in there. So, like, that's just going to be good, period. But I feel like they're really good abusing the speed 9, range 12, repo 5, and, like, essentially weapon masters on that. And, like, he's getting that against everything in his list. Like, those raptors are just going to, like, wreak havoc. When raptors work, they're fantastic. When they don't and you're not getting the poison on the thing, you just have PAL 10 bows that you're shooting around on 5 models, 3 if he's doing a min. They're super underwhelming. So unfortunately, everything you have in your list, like he's getting to
Mm-hmm.
use his poison damage on and just repo around and out threaten you, which is tough to deal with.
So the interesting thing about Nayslayers is like they're built to beat like what the other person is playing, like all the shooting. Just because if he's playing in Bump in the Night, they gain Rise, and if he's playing with the leader, he can use Playing Dead every turn, where they all get knocked down and gain Feign Death. So like they can't be targeted by range.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is I believe he said he was using a min of Dayslayer, so like he's only got 3 of them. That's a lot easier to wipe an entire unit at once than.
It's interesting. He says 16 points, which is like full unit. So he must be playing. I
So
don't think he
Dayslayer's
said
is
he
only
was.
12.
Yeah, when he says 16, must mean plus the command attachment, which is 6, would make it 16. But I don't think he said he's playing the command
It
attachment, so he's
wasn't in
definitely
his
not.
list, but
He's not feign deathing, which seems like one option, at least against the Raptors. Typhon may still be able to like spray his own guy and hit him because
right.
you're not targeting. Um, Other than that, though, also just removing the Nayslayers. So here's the problem. I don't. The best thing is something that he does not have for his list. I really think Dreadrots are just solid because they're so scary. Like they're weapon masters, and I think they're POW really good.
Yeah, they're good.
But the Dreamer has like a lot of solid spells. Like Enfeeble is -2 to attack and damage rolls. So like if you could get that up on Typhon, or I don't think Dagrush has a way to remove upkeeps, right?
Mm-mm. Nope.
So Enfeeble's super strong, and he's playing a Cage Rager, which should be an Arc Node, because if it's in the theme that starts with the corpse, I don't remember the theme. The Cage Rager, I think, is an Arc Node when it has a corpse.
Right.
So putting Enfeeble up, also, like, you have that combo of Manifest Destiny, but Thagrush is probably doing it better.
Thagrash probably is. I will say, like, the Ravagors are kind of weird with Thagrash. With, like,
Maybe one's a Carnivean.
I could see them being, like, Carniveans or something instead of Ravagors, so maybe... Because, like, that's kind of awkward, like, especially if he's just running up in his face. Like, I'm thinking that you're moving up, your Thagrosh is feeding, and you're moving them up, but if those are Carniveans and Typhons, like, that's a lot harder to deal with.
Yeah,
Than
and
like...
So also, it's only range 10, which is a little spooky, but the Dreamer does have a stationary gun with reload.
Mm-hmm.
So
Also good.
it's tough because, like, you want to say you gotta sit back long enough to, like, get in, but Thagrush doesn't let you do
shield
that.
guards as well. Oh no, they have shield wall.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if they are
have
or
shield
not.
wall and impervious flesh.
So, like, I think the thing I would consider is, if you're playing in the theme that lets you wreck Kravitz, is bringing those in, and consider bringing Skin and Moans in, maybe instead of the problem is, I don't know how much many points you'd be moving around, but, like, I think you drop the Nayslayers, right? Personally,
Probably.
based on
Skin
what
and
he
Moans is
has.
14.
Yeah, it's expensive. Unless you're keeping Skin and Moans to try to use it for that one Arcana that lets you bring in a heavy, but I don't know that the heavy gets to move, so it's probably not worth it. The best beast for this matchup is the Clockatrice, but he doesn't have any Clockatrices. It's both not affected by poison, and, like, when it gets to stutter out of the way,
Yeah.
you get to take advantage of that one. No, I'm thinking of the child. I think that's their Trump Arcana, the one that heals something. So forget that. That one does not exist.
I still think that, like, I guess, is he just, like, rolling high or something? Because if you look at, like, piggybacks, right? Like, if he's moving those up front and staying there and blocking, assuming you're staying in shield wall, you're armor 14, so you're going to armor 18, and you're impervious flesh, so, like, you're ignoring the extra dice from poison that's there. Like, armor 18 with boxes is not bad. Now, Typhon sprays at 14 is still only off 4, so, like, he's probably eating through quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, but if you put up, what's it called, on Typhon, and it's -2 to hit and -2 damage, you're looking at POW 12s.
Yeah, you're off 6. Like, that's...
How expensive are they, though? 15. So he's paying 20 for
wow.
this whole unit. That's expensive.
Yeah, 19, but yeah.
They do have Bulldoze, though. That's kind of interesting.
I just think shield wall with impervious flesh is sweet.
Oh, they have impervious flesh. Yeah. I didn't even realize that. And the shield wall order, this is Mark III shield wall, where you can
You get the movement still. Plus
kind of run. Yeah, it's like
plus 3 movement. That's what I'm saying. Like, 18, especially if that spell is up on Typhon, he's off 6 on 1 die. Like, he can't even damage you unless he's boosting damage.
Yeah.
Which he might be, because I think you're def 11s, right? Yeah, you're def 11 on the piggyback, so, like, he's not hitting you. So, like, he can shoot all 3 and boost damage on all 3, but you're still off 6.
You put that spell up, though, he's off 2 to hit also.
Right.
And Manifest Destiny is only melee, right?
Correct.
Like,
I feel like they should be pretty decent.
And then he has a Rattler. I think Rattler, like, with Manifest Destiny, just kills the Raptors.
With Berserk and Overtake?
Yeah.
The problem is you're not going to be able to get to all of them. They have Repo 5. And this is Mark 3, where they're not all within 2 inches. Like,
true.
Those Raptors are going to be miles apart from each other.
Are they large base?
They are on. Are they 50s? They're on a decent sized base for sure. They
Because
are on
like
50s.
yeah, you might get to put in like all three of your phantasms too. Because you can put like they have to be on the same size base or lower, and he has a 50, a 40, and a 30.
Right.
And so like with that's what I was saying with her. If you just is Manifest Destiny upkeep. Oh God, what? Okay,
No.
this is such an awful
Cluster.
like play pattern. So like I don't know who designed Grimkin, won't hate on him, but like Manifest Destiny and Abyssal Gate were like made for each other.
But they're both
So
upkeeps.
they're both like
Oh.
one's a not Abyssal Gate. Sorry. Oh, okay. This is my bad. I misread the spell. I got Abyssal Gate confused with a different one. Either way, even if it was the spell I was thinking, like, man, why is Manifest Destiny on upkeep? Because it's so good.
Probably. It costs 3. That's a lot. But it's probably worth.
I totally goofed. Take back everything I said about the two spells together. Abyssal Gate's great. I was thinking
Sure.
it was the other gate one where you literally teleport your model back to you. Because I'm like, man, you put up Manifest Destiny, you charge your beast in, and you summon it back to you. Was that like Secret Door or something like that?
I don't know. I
What's her
don't know
name
the
has it?
Grimkin stuff.
Aurora 2 had it.
I've played some Child, or at least familiar with Child. That's about the only Grimkin caster that I'm familiar with.
Yeah. So the best answer if you had access to everything in Grimkin is just play Old Witch,
Sure.
put up Whirlwind every turn, and play Dread
Accurate.
Rots like that.
Yeah.
That's the real answer. We don't have that. I think.
Some
I think.
cockatrices.
I think Nayslayers, like you said, Shield Wall, plus putting Enfeeblement on.
Piggybacks, not Ace Layers.
Sorry, yeah,
Piggybacks with
piggybacks.
Shield Wall.
Putting up what's it called? Enfeeblement on
Rattler's.
Typhon, and then you gotta keep your Rattler safe until like he has to extend with his Raptors a little bit, but then you just go after him.
Because like you're impervious flesh, right? So like if you're at arm 18, the Raptors are off 8 with impervious flesh. Like they're back to 2 dice. Like you're off 8 on 2 dice. Like
Yeah.
you can roll that all the time. I'm okay with that.
Yep.
Like I don't feel like you're killing the piggybacks all that much if you put the spell up on Typhon. Ravagors, maybe.
Yeah.
Like you are
Yep.
blasting away with Ravagor,
And
but
and then if Typhon goes all out to kill something, you can just like Trump Arcana and knock him down at the end of his turn activation, and then go in and kill him. But yeah, or Thagrosh, right? Like if Thagrosh gets in the biz and you Trump Arcana, like like he can never get super aggressive with Thagrosh because if he kills something, you knock Thagrosh down, and then like your piggybacks probably kill Thagrosh.
ooh, bro, I don't know about that. Thagrosh is chunky.
Yeah, someone's killing him.
14, 18.
Okay, how
Anything is
about
spawn at lesser?
hear me
Transfer
out?
to?
Maybe he doesn't kill him. Maybe the Cage Rager does.
Cage Rangers can kill Thags. Sure. Now I'm buying
Yeah.
it. But yes, I think yeah, I think overall I think piggybacks with shield wall, assuming you're doing that with impervious flesh and then throwing up
Ooh,
the -2 to hit and armor spell is really good.
you can also put Apparition on him, and they get an extra 2 inches of movement too.
They're a little bit faster. Yeah, it makes them speed 7, I think, which is more realistic to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Plus they get the 3 inches when they do the shield wall that's there. So like that's pretty hefty. That's getting up the board pretty quick.
Yeah. Does what are the phantasms are weird. They don't actually do. I don't think they can attack. They just have little abilities. Like the small one has mark target, the medium one has channeler, and the large one has it can when it gets destroyed it removes enemy upkeeps and it
Channeler's
has
super nice though.
bulldoze.
Channeler's
Yeah.
nice to be able to move that spell around.
Seems like that's the one you want to summon first,
Yeah.
honestly. And so for me, but if you're playing against his army, like medium, you're everything you kill except for a solo. Um,
Yeah.
you're summoning him. I think it's equal or lesser base on.
So warmongers are going to be 30s. Oh no, they're not. They're 40s too. What am
Yeah.
I saying?
Same or smaller base. Yeah. So like
So
you're
yeah,
you're gonna be able
40s
to
are
summon
good.
that guy. Now, even if Thags wants to cast through a spell martyr, you get to place the small phantasm there if you want, as long as it's within her control area, I think.
True.
So pretty
Pretty dope.
yeah.
Hopefully
I
that
think that I think it's hard though. I like we say here's all the stuff you can try to do, but like JVM played Thag Rush in Prime and just brought a bunch of beasts and was like and he did pretty well at CaptainCon, so that's still good even at Mark IV. So
yeah. Shredder spam
uh, oh,
is also fun with
I
X.
have I have a ton of shredders, like 10, or I say a ton. There's people out there with like 30. I have like 10 regular shredders,
Right, right.
but
But yeah, hopefully
oh
that helps.
yeah, I don't know which Arcana to get. You could take the -2 speed one. It's actually really good. If like one model ends within your control area, I think you can pop it, and then everyone else has -2 speed.
The problem is I just don't know that that's impactful.
Yeah,
Like you got warmongers that are going to be triggering to be able to move, plus the mini feat for another +2. Speed 9 raptors are going to speed 7. Okay, cool. Like, still not a problem. Thagrosh is moving, and his entire battle group's moving again under feet. So like, I don't the speed. It's just gonna be hard to actually like take away. But
yeah.
hopefully some of that helps. I played Legion for a long time though, so like I'm kind of a Legion fanboy. So I don't
I
mind seeing Legion win. But
so with enfeeblement up, I think Ill Omens is also probably good. Once one of your dudes dies, you can trigger it, and enemy models get -1 to attack and damage rolls. Like maybe that's what you're trying to do is really survive that one turn, and then clap back as hard as you can.
yeah, that makes
Problem is,
sense.
I just don't know if you got the power to like
To clap back.
piggybacks are what are piggybacks? They're 15 on the
On
charge.
charging, they're decent. That's probably about it though.
What was her feat? Oh shit, it's never mind. They don't have feats. They're that's so tough. Like we need more damage in the list.
Yeah, I feel like you're relying a lot on Archon and Cage Rager.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking try to get the skin and bones in, but it needs to get corpses, and although it sounds like maybe he doesn't have a problem getting corpses, but
Sounds like stuff's gonna die, but
that's tough. I think we need a little more damage, and I'm not 100% sure where to get it from.
right.
Oh, he's playing Holloman. What are those? I completely forgot about
I'm
those.
not a Holloman fan. I think they're probably 11s.
Oh, they're the
9
ones
with
that can
brutal
see.
charge.
Or are they the CRA guys?
Yeah, they can CRA. CRA power
Hmm.
11s, I guess, is not horrible. They have apparition on their own, so yeah, I assume you're putting them up on piggybacks.
Yeah, I mean they can like snipe out some stuff, but what does the lantern do for him?
The other thing is you have armor piercing on the Nay Slayers. Just don't know that there's a whole lot of armor. Like the problem with the armor is armor piercing is only having the base one, which is great, but like everything that he's facing into for that list, like Thagrosh's blood whatever is putting up +2 armor, like that's gonna be after the pierce, which is making it a lot harder to get to. Same thing with warmongers, like they're getting stuff as well
Yeah.
post armor pierce that's on there. Like I don't know if the armor piercing is really great into this. Like you're 16, that's okay, but then you're getting unyielding, so like +2 armor against melee damage rolls, like that's afterwards. So I don't know,
Well,
but
what do murder crows do? Oh, murder crows are all right. They have gang and prey. They're not bad.
sounds good.
That's still only POW 13 on their weapons, so
Yeah, but for the most part, that's probably okay. I mean, if you're trying to kill raptors, the problem is hitting their def 14, their armor 15. Like, you're
oh,
killing them if
truce.
you get to them.
Yeah, so we're looking at if you and their ambush, right? So that's not bad. Ambushing the murder crows on the side he runs raptors to, or you're forcing the raptors down the middle. You're looking
Yeah.
at with gang and prey on them, mat 10. Like you're not missing them.
I think you're just trying to CRA into the raptors, no?
Oh, I'm talking
Like,
about murder crows though.
yeah, but I'm talking about the CRAs as well.
Yeah, they could.
Like at POW 10 or POW 11, you CRA to help you hit the def 14, and then you're probably off one or two. You only have 5
Yeah,
boxes.
yeah, for sure. I'm just worried
Yeah.
about Typhon and the big beasts, but maybe you
No
just
problem.
get rid of their potential to score,
I
and
think
try
the
to win
problem
the
is the
scenario.
raptors getting poison on everything is just like murdering like all of their units. Like they're just, I don't know, it's starting like Cage Rager, but like they're just murdering all their units if you leave them unattended.
Yeah.
I think it's the problem, but
Well, maybe that's
probably a
some
tough
good
matchup in
info.
general.
Cool.
Yeah. So semi switching gears, I'm trying to talk Brandon into
Mm.
going to a little GT in Tampa. He's not
Hmm.
seeming to not seeming to bite on the GT in Tampa.
So I'm not being the biggest hater. I'm just confused on the cost. $85. Where is their prize? Is there a big prize? Although I could reach out. It's Armada Games. That used to be. That's the store I learned to play Warmachine in. I could reach out
It's
and be
fine.
like, "Hey, one of the owners left. They were brothers. Like, hey, what's up?" We'll probably go. The one downside is like if we went to a Magic tournament,
Mm-hmm.
not comparable, but went to a Magic tournament, like we'd be one and done on Saturday. This is a 2-dayer,
Yeah,
but it's
but
not too bad. Tampa's 3-hour drive.
yeah, that's not a bad drive. That's not
I
bad at
gotta
all.
paint. I gotta paint my models, or else I'm losing.
Yeah, you're losing 10 points, which sucks.
Also, I'm losing because I'm probably gonna play knights, and I'm just gonna, just like you, the rude awakening you had in round one. I'm gonna have it in my round one.
Yeah, it's you definitely take some getting used to for sure. I will not be playing knights most likely. I
Can't
figured that
believe it.
out.
That's
Wow,
wild.
this is
Yeah.
wild. Not that I'm off of them. I love Chaos Knights. I would definitely still be playing Chaos Knights. I definitely will still be playing Chaos Knights in the future. But
I think Imperial Knights are really cool. I really like that I can play with like 7 to 9 models. And there's still a ton of rules for them, but it's so much easier than trying to remember
yeah,
everybody else.
for sure. I think they're good too.
Is 10th edition going to be out by then?
That I don't know. There's a lot of talk about 10th edition. I'm kind of like nervous, I guess, from like my tabletop hobby love right now went from like, oh my god, Mark's 4 is coming, like Warmachine sucks now, like blah blah blah, like everything like changing and stuff from that with like Warmachine to that, and then so for the record, and I've said this before, I just want to make sure I'm abundantly clear. I do not dislike Mark 4. I love the changes. I love the movement changes, unit changes, like template changes. I'm here for all of it. I
Yep.
think the game is not in a great state right now. Like they released it too early. They didn't have enough armies. Like there's just not
Mhm.
enough stuff right now. I'm just not. The game state sucks in my opinion. This is the reason why I'm not playing it. But I'm here for Mark IV. Having said that, I also had an opportunity to like become a free agent and like I picked up a bunch of GW stuff and like started playing some Warhammer. Like I just don't really want to play Warmachine right now. Like I want to be playing something. I want to be doing something.
Mhm.
Uh, so I picked up a bunch of Warhammer stuff and like I've been loving painting and building and playing some Warhammer and stuff currently. So, but now I'm like, oh, like 10th edition's coming for Warhammer too, and it's like I hope they don't. I mean, it's not like the game's gonna change like Warmachine to where it's like, oh, they got rid of all the armies and like there's nothing to play now. So like that's not gonna happen. Like if you buy into some of the leaks and rumors and stuff that's out there, though, it sounds like it's like moving closer to Age of Sigmar, like losing some of like your toughness, strength versus toughness stuff, and it's just like rolling to like hit and damage, just kind of like all on you, and it's not interactive with your opponent anymore. Trying to like simplify that, speed the game up, and lower some of the rolls and that kind of stuff. Sounds like some of the potentially like subgroups, your sub factions, uh, is going away to where like you're not picking all these different sub factions and stuff to be in within your army, simplifying some of the stratagems, that kind of stuff. So like we'll see. I'm here for simplifying it. We've had this talk. Like I think it's wild as hell that there's 20, 30, like 40 stratagems and stuff for armies that you have to know all this different stuff and when you can use them and when you can't. This is in your fight phase, the shooting phase, this is in reaction to this is that. Like, oh, you don't even play that model, so that stratagem is not even useless right now. Like, there's just so much stuff. Like, I'm here for simplifying that. I don't know that I like the leaks for the proposed changes of like taking away strength and toughness and that stuff. Like I think where the game's at right now and having the strengths and toughnesses and like needing on fives to hit or blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff, I think is just in a really good spot. I enjoy it. I think it's balanced between your big stuff and then volume of attacks on little stuff. Needing fives and sixes and stuff. Like I enjoy like where the game is at currently, but it's also gonna be the 10th edition, right? Like they've done it 9 times, and like I don't really know that there's been a really bad edition that people like haven't like enjoyed playing or something. So like knock on wood,
I think there was, but
really bad one.
That was like Mark II Warmachine, right? I think that was when GW was like it was
And
bad.
downhill, right.
But I could not tell you what edition it was, and then they went to Mark III, and GW maybe came out with the 8th edition, and people were like, "Okay, we're here. Like
Skyrocketed
this is
back up.
good." And it was like it was like both of them happened at the right time for their respective games,
Right.
Because I want to say, and I knew nothing about 40K prior to like what we're playing right now, but I'm fairly
Same.
certain the game was in a really bad state, and they capitalized in Mark II big time.
Right. So I mean, right at one point, Warmachine was as popular as 40K at that point. So
Mm-hmm.
for
The
sure.
Armada
So
games, they
yeah,
didn't. It was like 40K what, like all their walls the stuff not devoted to magic, all their walls was every SKU of Warmachine and Hordes.
right.
20% off too.
That's balling.
Why would you buy online?
Right. So I would 100% support the store if they did that. That was there.
That was big.
So we'll see. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I'm here for the change. Mix it up.
If I end up like falling into Space Marines, if they end up happening, seems like I'm always looking for deals. It would be hard not to play them because Space Marines are the best.
You're all about the Space Marines, huh?
Although I'm not playing Iron Hands, right, and that's like the best. But I'm just here for the regular old blue Ultramarines, and I think was it Raven Wing or Raven Guard?
So I think Ultramarines might be like the worst Space Marine faction right now, which is
No,
funny.
not the worst. They're not the worst. Come on.
That's too funny. Iron Hands is definitely probably got the biggest buff from the AOS stuff, but
And I think Salamanders are doing good too.
yeah.
I don't know about White Scars. If White Scars get a Codex in 10th, though, that could be the one because that's what I originally started in. So we do have some White Scar stuff. Yeah. Also, you can't see it very well, but this down here is like 6 or 7 Space Marine boxes.
Unbuilt.
Yeah, that's so like you know how much I complained about the MCP boxes, but we're talking about like 5 to 10 MCP models per box.
Trust me, I know. You know how much built Necron stuff is sitting in my DTOF.
Also, if you know where I live, don't come rob me. But my knights are in the trunk of my car still.
Oh my gosh, that's disrespectful.
Nah, I don't know.
Honestly, like truth be told, I probably should have stuck with knights, finished them. Like I put so much work into those knights and magnetizing everything to start, and then painted up my big boys and stuff in time for CaptainCon and all that. And then why? So here's my thing. Like, what happened? I played and saw 0 Death Guard while I was there. I didn't see it. I didn't play against it. No one talked about it. And like, I came back from CaptainCon like, have to have Death Guard. Like, must play Death Guard.
Was it that sweet Death Guard lot that you couldn't get and you're just looking at it?
I don't know. Like, I came back on this craziest like, have to have Death Guard kick. So like, that's what I'm building and painting. Like, that's what we're gonna be playing next.
I thought Death Guard was really cool from the beginning, but I was like, I feel like Craig would play this, but he never even seemed into it. But I was like thinking he would because he liked Crick so much.
Right.
But
I will say they're pretty cool.
I think the Plague Burst crawlers are dope. The Primarch is super cool.
Mortarian's sick. My problem,
probably not supposed to play with him, but
probably not. He has 18 wounds, which is horrible. Like, at least the knights that have over 18 and don't benefit from obscuring have like 24, 28, depending on depending on whatchamacallit your devotion stuff you're under. Like, Mortarian just has 18. Like, he's at the mark for no obscuring, and you have the least amount of wounds possible for being there. Like,
they're all 5 up.
Shouldn't be played.
He's probably 5 up or 4 up, right? Against shooting.
Mortarian?
Yeah.
I think he has a 4 up invuln, no?
Yeah. Well, that's what I would guess.
I think he does, which, I mean, obviously is no joke. I mean, he's super tough. Like, he's hard to take down, but it's just, like, when you don't have... Like, when you have no obscuring, like, it just seems like it's... I thought my knights were fairly, like, tanky and hard to take down, right? Like, your toughness 8, you have all these... You have a 4 up against shooting and all that kind of stuff, and, like, they just get blown off the table at 28 wounds. Toughness 8. Oh, what up, Archie?
Shout out to Archie. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I brought him up real quick. Let's take a look.
I think the Plague Burst crawlers are sweet though, and the bloat drones.
Yeah,
are really
has a
good.
4 up involved.
Do the bloat drones blow up on 4 up?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that. So, I will tell you, this is probably what got me hooked. Honestly, is Tycho is probably what got me hooked on Death Guard. Watching a bunch of his games and his bloat drones. Like, I'm so here for some flesh mowers on bloat drones. I think they're good. I think not bracketing. Like, getting that many wounds at that toughness on that hard hitting of a unit that's that fast with flying has, like, everything you would pretty much want and not bracketing, I think is absolutely fantastic for 115 points.
Yeah, so if you made it this far and you're a Warmachine only, appreciate, but like in the Warhammer world, kind of like Warjacks and Warbeasts, like they lose systems and stuff. It's not really the same, but the vehicles and things like that in 40k, when Shaun says bracketed, like as long as you have more than 12 wounds, you have this line of stats, and then once you get down to 7 to 11, you have the second line, and like pretty much everything goes down by 1. So like usually your shooting is 3 up to hit, now it's 4 up to hit, and then it's 5 up to hit, and there's a lot of rules that are either like pretend like you have double the wounds for bracketing, or maybe they don't bracket, like you said.
Yeah, like speed 10, toughness 7, 9 wounds, and not bracketing is I think really good for 115 points. I'm playing. Yeah, I would play 5. I'd play 12 if you didn't have a rule of 3. I'd be playing as many.
They blow up on 4 up, and you're playing in like a world of like Space Marines playing a lot of infantry because they have so many free upgrades. So
yep,
that's probably pretty good, right? Seems good. I'm talking as someone who's played. I played a handful of games, but it seems strong.
I think it's decent. I'm here for it. I have a group of Terminators, deep strike them in the back, or technically it's not deep striking. They have like a teleport rule, but essentially deep striking. Gets them in the back there. Like my pack of 10 Marines are inside of a Rhino, so they get up the board pretty quickly. Obviously, the bloat drones are getting up the board quickly. Mortarian's not slow either. Plague Burst Crawlers are just chilling in the back, non-line of sight shooting stuff.
That part's really good.
I think
Because
they're good.
especially in the world of like tournaments having those,
Crazy walls.
it's not even interesting. Like that's like the biggest selling point to me on 40K is when you look at like go watch Play on Tabletop and look at their boards.
Sick.
They go over the top. But even your regular go to the local game store, they have the like 40K terrain. It just looks really cool. You go to a tournament and it's just like curved, like it's not curved, but it's like slanted
It's
big
walls.
walls that you just sit behind. It's like, all right,
Here's
like
my
you've taken out.
problem though: is like you're talking a lot. Like even at 64 players, which I think is like the smallest Warhammer event you're gonna get, is 32 tables.
You're
Like
not
I've been
wrong.
talking to Nova via email. Their Warhammer's capped at 412 players this year. Like, how are you making
Yeah,
206 boards
it's completely fair.
that look like play on tabletop? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. So the terrain all just looks like that, which
It's just kind of
is
what you get.
still somehow like don't hate me, War Machine players still looks better on the board because you know, but maybe it's just because the models look cool.
The models are really cool.
But I'm not going like when we travel to an event. Like if we travel to that event to play 40K only, that's one thing. But if we travel to Crucible, we travel to Nova, like I'm still gonna bring War Machine. But I would like to play. This time I found out though those fourth Mark IV armies, they fit. You fit them in tournament bag. Like you're
Yeah,
good to go. So
small
we're going under the seat Mark IV army, up in the bin
40K.
40K.
Yeah,
Because like they were like we got there Thursday. We could have. It didn't matter where we played. We could have jammed like 40K for 6 hours.
right. Agreed. I definitely I would like to bring both. I do have the backpack as well, which like I think has a shot of fitting underneath the seats and stuff in front of us to where like I could throw a War Machine in the backpack and throw 40K in the carry on and bring both, right?
I think Brandon Owens was right. If we were on the bigger Boeing that went on two different size planes, I
Right.
really think that would have fit under the seat. Just the second one, the two seats were too close to each other, so we couldn't get it.
Couldn't even get on the
We
ground to
couldn't get it
try.
between the seat. Like
Right.
I think if we could have got it on the ground though, it fits under the seat because it was bigger than I expected down there.
Yeah. It might. I think the backpack fits.
Also,
And
we got three seats. Let me just strap that bad boy in the middle.
I was gonna say also though, like if you're flying Southwest at the Gucci
Yeah.
first class section up front that we fly in, I just throw it up. I just throw it up. Like if I wear it in on my back and I'm rolling my other one and I take both off and toss them up in the thing, like who's saying something to me? They're not being like, "Sir, did you just put two things up there?" Like
They really won't.
they're not doing that. I would just toss both up in the carry on section.
They also, if you sit in the front row, there is no underneath. You have to go up.
Oof. You're right. So we just plop down in the front and then be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I got to put my stuff up. Let me just toss these bad boys up here."
Yep.
Yeah, that's a play.
So knights is what I would play. I did also while we were at CaptainCon get a Grey Knight slot too.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you had Grey Knights now.
But I think if I was going to play them for real, I would want more Dread Knights. I only have one Dread Knight.
Yeah, you need to get more. Get some more
But
and pin them up.
I like Imperial Knights too much, to be entirely honest with you. I think they're really cool. For as much as I trashed them, like I was like, who wants to play like all your points in a bunch of knights? But then I watched a couple videos and I was like,
It's kind of dope. We both made that mistake. We were literally sitting in the GW store talking to Rod, and we're both like, "That's dumb, though. We don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to just play four models. Like,
but how lucky were we? Like we switched like just at the right time, would you say?
probably because you can't find this stuff now."
I shout out to Big Top Gaming. I got my initial night lots from Brian. And I think I got like 6 little guys and 3 big guys from him, and good luck finding that
Yeah,
right
like, they're
now,
definitely
especially
hard
the
to
littles.
find. They come out like as soon as you find them online, either through GW, Amazon, wherever. Like it's just gone for the War
That
Dogs.
Chainbreaker Lance box was insane.
That's good
Even
too.
at MSRP 210, you got a big one and four little ones.
Yeah, I have a bunch. I have 2 boxes of armatures and 2 boxes of War Dogs right now unbuilt on top of all my stuff that I took to CaptainCon. So like I'm fully knighted out to play whatever I want to once I
Mhm.
get back around to them. I'm trying to get Death Guard done and painted up and ready to go. So like I want to have something 40k army wise done so that when I go somewhere like I'm getting my 10 points for painted.
Yeah, they're weirdly cheap, right?
Yeah.
It's like for building a 2,000 point army, knights are weirdly inexpensive. Outside of like if you're, I don't want to say you're getting gouged. Like it's supply and demand.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, as
but
long
if
as
you
you're
can,
at MSRP or under.
yeah, it's like I want to say I bought too many big ones because I found a couple magnetized large ones on eBay. Um, but all in like maybe 700,
Oh yeah, probably
and I
cheaper than
and
that.
I have 5 big ones and 8 small ones.
Yeah. It's not bad for 40k.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
and the army is just fun. I don't know.
I like
It's
painting them
yeah.
too. Like I think my big dudes look really good. They're probably like my favorite painted thing that I have at this point.
You got a lot of comments,
I did get
and
a lot of
there's a
comments to
lot of War
that.
Machine people, but oh, there's probably a lot of 40k people too that said stuff. But definitely the War Machine people are like, yo.
Yeah,
Also, people are just like love to see knights.
agreed.
People walk by and you're like, oh, dude, he's playing knights, sick.
They look dope for sure.
I've never been the brick guy in War Machine, but I will be the brick guy in 40k.
Love it. All right, we are well past an hour. We're an
We
hour
went
and
we went
16
past.
minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Anything? Any wrapping up comments? Anything to throw out there?
Kador ships in about a week.
The third, right?
Stores getting them in the third. I think overseas, internationally, people are already getting them. It's pretty sweet. Also, I think from the unboxing I watched, all the models are like one piece. Like there's hardly any assembly, and
That's
I am
fire.
here for that.
Here, that same. I would like that. I
Uh, yes. Oh, email.
same.
Actually, um where should we have them email us?
Shaun at warjacksgamesclub.com.
There you go.
For what? What are they emailing
Anything.
us?
Got questions? You
Oh,
want stuff to us to talk about? Hit us up, or you can still hit up the Warjacks or the Warjacks Games Club at Gmail
yeah.
as well. But yeah, send us if you want us to talk about War Machine 40k stuff. Anything, send us lists, Mark IV lists. You want to tell us that we're dumb and stupid? Leave a comment. You disagree with Mark IV being the best?
The best. Yeah.
You think Unlimited's the best? You know, I'm not saying it's bad. I can't do it. It's too wild for me.
Yeah, it's no. I don't think anyone has that comment. But maybe they do. Let us know. Anyways, if you're still with us, we appreciate it. Hit that like button, that thumbs up, subscribe. We appreciate you hanging out with us, and we will catch you next time.
Later.
Later.